Hold the phone. This week's episode of Dandadan was just full of crazy stuff. We got introduced to a new hot adult. Ira had one of the best redemption arcs since Cyberpunk. And Kappas need milk, apparently. We're gonna go into this episode and break it down each individual. Let's get to it. So the episode starts with, well, I mean, how you think it starts. This lands them in the school's infirmary in one of the most beloved moments in the manga, now finally animated in all of its glory. Well, there were a couple ones actually from this episode. They are all dressed down by the nurse there, Queen Sensei, who is hot, sadistic, and the best girl. Seriously, I think Tatu has a thing for strong older women, and I appreciate this. We need more of it. That being said, how in the hell does Queen Sensei even get her job with clothes like that? Like, I mean, she clearly looks like she belongs on a Blink-182 cover, and I probably don't need to tell you the story behind that cover, and I won't. Okay, I will. That woman is an adult actress. Queen Sensei doesn't look too far removed from that. Like, I mean, what nurse wears these kinds of boots? If she were to bend over at any sort of angle, I'm sure every kid will get an eyeful of something. Now, I'm not complaining, ooga booga, but I find it absolutely hilarious how the world of Dandadan functions. I mean, it's all just chaos all of the time, and it works. So this underdressed nurse has a problem with bullies, and she's gonna punish anyone who is naughty with her medicine, which is clearly this Blackjack. She's like Geralt of Rivia, just you wait. She's gonna be out there beating people up and escaping prisons. Point is though, this woman doesn't like bullies at all, so the thing she wants to know is if the kids are actually just alright, that they aren't being bullied. And I like this aspect about Queen Sensei quite a bit. We may or may not ever see her again, but she has this domineering attitude, but not in a malicious or callous or perverted way. Sure, she looks like, well, how she looks, but that's just to sell that aspect of her personality and her character. She's actually just a really tough woman looking out for, well, these little shits. However, that still doesn't mean she isn't domineering too, so Tatu is quick to remind your boner when her assistant comes in that he needs to knock first and he is a baldy and that he needs to be punished. So she, and I'm not kidding by the way, presumably goes and punishes the cue ball in the back, and I don't even want to theorize, but you know, I'm a YouTuber and this is my job to make content, so yeah, she's absolutely pegging this dude. No way she isn't. I'm sorry, that Blackjack isn't just for breaking out of a prison, it's also for breaking in its own way. But while Queen Sensei is away, dominating a middle-aged man with a wife and kids, the kids are, well, freaking the hell out. I mean, what in the world are they gonna do about any of this? They were just seen naked by the entire school and they fought Nessie, but this is what they do know. These aliens are persistent. So Momo turns to Ira, insults her intelligence, which is hurt. But remember, Ira still is best girl, so if y'all keep trying to say I'm simping for Kirby here, y'all gonna get it, okay? What we learn here, though, is that Ira's abilities awakened in the middle of battle, and that this likely occurs due to Acrobatic Silky's aura being transferred into her body after her death. In turn, while it seems all fun and games, this surely must mean now that the Serpo may target Ira as well. And here is the really fun part of this episode. The Dum-de-Dums, they work it out thanks to Okaru, that the reason aliens haven't quite invaded is because the spirits and yokai are what is protecting Earth from certain doom. This is a really cool direction for the story to take because it sort of muddies up the water just a tad. We've seen that a lot of yokai can do some pretty evil stuff, but think back, why did they all do it? Well, for Turbo Granny, it was her trying to protect women and children from being sexually assaulted. For the Acrobatic Silky? Well, glad you asked. Her entire character was about protecting her daughter from the harsh reality of the world. Notice the key phrase in both of those is protect. It seems that yokai have some natural inclination to want to protect, thus making the yokai in Dandadan complicated but ultimately misunderstood protectors of different key groups of people. Well, we don't know if they protect like different key groups of people, that's just a growing pattern I noticed, we'll have to see, but they protect the people that need protecting is what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, for some reason I get some serious Yu Yu Hakusho vibes for some reason, I don't know why. But this in turn is why the Serpo attacks humans and also why the yokai are now giving their powers to the humans. Boys, are you sensing something? A little bit of a pattern here? Yep, guys, Dandadan is about an intergalactic war between aliens and Earth. I'm not kidding. This is like, well, Halo, except for Okaroon as Master Chief, Momo as Cortana, Ira is 343 Guilty Spark. Okay, no, I'm kidding. She's actually Arbiter since Arby is always trying to steal Chief from Cortana, I think. Seiko, maybe I need to go back and replay these games. Point being is that I really think we should think about making art of Okaroon in power armor and Momo as Cortana. If Freerun can build a niche around it, I mean, why can't Dandadan? However, since these characters are written by Yukinobu Tatsu, nobody understands a damn thing Okaroon just said. Momo is confused. Ira, she's deluded. However, the main point really is that they need to get back Okaroon's nut because his nut holds the fate of humanity in balance. Yes, my dear viewer, this anime is about an intergalactic war over a teenager's testicle. And even if they did understand what Okaroon just said, they didn't care because they were seen naked and their images were ruined. Though I did get a little bit of a chuckle out of Ira suggesting that to get out of this, she pinned the blame on Momo by making up a story that she is the one who made her strip naked, which is funny because it's true. She legit told her to strip. So Momo, just tired of it all, actually agrees to the plan and is okay with her getting the blame. I mean, might as well. Which is when Ira's minions pop up, and yes, these are minions. Last time we saw them, they were quite literally nearly killed. But this finally confirms they're all right, I guess. I mean, it seems they made a full recovery. They may just be wearing makeup to cover the bruises. But it's here where Okaroon finally gets to explain himself to Momo, and she really does have a massive weak spot for Okaroon. After he tells her he did it to impress her, she clearly does the anime doki doki thing. And this is what I love about Dandadan. There is zero reason to believe any of this love triangle stuff will ever happen. I mean, it's just a layer of comedy gold. And we the viewers can feel free knowing Momo and Okaroon are totes adorbs together. And Momo really loves it when Okaroon says he's a man because she keeps teasing him about it. It's just such a cute side of Momo's personality, being attracted to that manly side of Okaroon. It's simple, yet so effective. But just when it starts to get good, Momo's friends barge in out of nowhere, breaking up the tension to provide a theory on what went down. Basically, Momo and Ira fought in the nude in a gladiatorial battle to decide who gets Okaroon, which is also why Momo talked to the shrimp to learn how to punch. Funny part about this is that this normally would be too hard to believe, but in this show, this would mean it's actually too hard to believe because it's not as crazy as what actually went down. Now a personal segment just for me, if you would listen to my words for a moment. For all of the clearly deluded Ira Shiratori haters out there that don't understand her gratefulness, my friends on KOA every Monday, Ira is in the clique, and so they begin to just rattle off about how this is Momo's fault, and she did all of this. So Ira, realizing that they are now friends and that it's wrong to treat someone like this, owns up to what she did and apologizes for all of the wrong she caused. This is actually a pretty big moment, and I think it completely redeems Ira Shiratori. The reason is very simple. She's nearly died twice now, she's been the constant punching bag since her very first scene, and now she's finally owned up to the reason people called her horrible in the first place. Ira may still be deluded to some degree, but I don't think Ira is. I think she made mistakes though, and I think she's owned up to all of it. So, ha! Told you so, slide canceling fools! Ira best girl! But when Momo and Ira have a heart-to-heart, she says something interesting to Kirby. You didn't actually talk bad about me, did ya? Ira says she for sure did, but I'm wondering if maybe now the culprit was someone else. Who knows? But what we do know is the ABBA alien is back, having the time of his life. Turns out that he's not having the time of his life. He's no dancing queen. He's just a dad that is doing all of this for his poor little Kappa child. Poor thing. And poor thing he is, because at the moment he wakes up, it seems like he's gonna do battle, but instead he's been treated quite well by the Dum-Da-Dums, and for that he collapses to his knees and actually thanks them for treating him so well. So with the Kappa having a heartfelt moment of gratitude, he is repaid with food. And then Seiko's dropkick because he is eating too much of the food he seems to also hate. Yeah, I'm not too sure if this guy deserves or doesn't deserve this treatment, only because you don't tell a granny her food is bad, especially one who is as useful and violent as Seiko. I mean, even Turbo Granny dropkicks Okaroon. Seems though like in Dandadan, if your hips are the consistency of dust, your dropkicks are to die for. Literally. But no, literally, because you will die if they drop kick you. Speaking of dying, The Kappa's son is dying due to a horrible disease and needs blood transfusion every time he goes number 1 or number 2, which also took his wife. And sorta mirroring Silky here, I mean, her family did love Kappa, so there is that connection. The Kappa says he is pathetic for falling on hard times and not being able to provide, which is why he came to Earth. Essentially, this Kappa is an immigrant coming to Japan to try and make his dream of having a happy family and a healthy son come true and looking for a cure. Thankfully, they didn't build that space wall yet, so they're able to come over here. So Okaru's plan is to get his bell end back so he can help out the Kappa family. Not sure what he's gonna do with his schlong to help them though. Can't feed someone with your willy now, can ya? So Ira just sleazes right in with peak Ira energy, offering her help to get Okaru's rod back. And once again, I love the fact that in the manga version, Momo calls Ira a skank, but I mean, what we have here is fine. I just like to say skank. Anyways, turns out that Seiko is very xenophobic. Actually, she's not. She calls Kappa's blood rank because in all actuality, the Kappa's blood is literally just milk. That's right. All this Kappa needs to do is find Himino in the cow bikini to solve every single one of their issues. And now comes the part where I remember Himino. Power down, gentlemen. Power down. So Seiko literally hooks the Kappa up with a farmer to lend him a cow for his family, which they promptly beam up into their spaceship like it's destroyed all humans. And yes, we need another sequel to this game, by the way. I do love Ira. I gotta admit, guys, I know you don't know this yet, but Ira's great. Because I just like how she sees them off by telling them to never come back because she's Earth's protector. Ah, gosh, Ira is just the best, isn't she? Isn't she, you guys? Though, there is one peculiar, interesting tidbit from this episode. Seiko keeps saying that the Kappa is not an alien, but a spirit. I wonder, though, if there is a difference between spirits and aliens, and that spirits can also come from outer space, but aren't aliens in the traditional sense. Like, here's a way to put it. Like, imagine there's like a planet of dogs somewhere, and they came to Earth. But they are just one-to-one dogs, like the ones we have here on Earth, the exact same, but they're just from another planet. That's sort of the way I think she's trying to say they're different, but still, she doesn't believe in aliens, so yeah, you know. However, at the end of the episode, Momo tries to exploit financial means of the adults known as Seiko, and Seiko sees right through it with her cataracts and refuses to buy Momo one because she knows that she knows what she's doing. Instead, she will have to do a Hiroshi Abe impression to get that new outfit, and you may know him as the voice of Kenshiro in the Fist of the North Star film from 2006, but, well, Momo, having no choice, makes an impression of Hiroshi Abe from the TV series Downtown Rocket instead. And let me tell you, I immediately thought she was a Junji Ito character with that face. So they get a knock on the door, which means something bad or good is going to typically happen in this show. And something indeed does happen. It seems as if the boy who made fun of Momo in front of the school for putting up her finger or something has grown up into a very, very tall, very, very pretty, and very, very handsome young lad. His name is Gigi. He's the bestest boy. Turns out he's coming over for a reason. His mother even informed Seiko that he would be coming over too. So I think the last part of this episode is clearly asking, what is Gigi's purpose here? What are we going to see from him? I mean, we'll probably just have to wait and see, right? But overall, I thought this episode was just so much fun. It was another great close to another arc with another great giant feast. And while we didn't get any super crazy Wincy and Swaru moments, we still got to see some really awesome and expressive animation. Some really good comedy too. We got Queen Sensei and Granny's drop kicking people. I personally thought Ira's growth was the highlight along with the Kappa family, so we'll see what happens in the following episode, but I'm really looking forward to it. Guys, let's try to shoot for another third straight video in a row with 1,500 likes.